In this week's episode, a township boy on the verge of making history. But first, this village produces a pioneer in the field of aviation. South Africa is a young democracy, and we still have a long way to go before the playing field can be level in various sectors of our society. But it doesn't mean we haven't made progress in the past 20 years. People like Asnath Mahapa, who are pushing the frontier in aviation, for example, should be celebrated. Asnath is the very first female black pilot in South Africa who is also running her own aviation school.
It has been a dream for me. From the age of about 13 years old, I knew I wanted to fly.
It wasn't just wishful thinking. Asnath Mahapa approached her dream with great conviction, always believing nothing was impossible.
She has been one of those people who wanted to, they dreamed about things that, they were just out of our thinking.
Not only is she the first black woman in South Africa to become a pilot, she also started this academy, African College of Aviation. Now other young people have the chance to spread their wings beyond the limits of imagination.
My dream is for this school is to see more African people coming through and doing their training and becoming pilots, especially South Africans.
About 400 kilometers away from Johannesburg, where Asnath is plying her trade, there's a village called Ramatlala. This is where her journey to aviation excellence began.
I did my primary schooling around that area, and my high schooling, then I moved to a school called Mahoka.
During school holidays, Asnath would visit her aunt in Midrand, Gauteng. She was always captivated seeing planes flying to OR Tambo International. But she became a lot more excited when she found out there was a pilot living in the neighborhood.
So when they started talking about him and he was just a normal person, I thought, maybe I can actually do this.
Going back home, Asnath had made up her mind about her future. She too wanted to fly. But her father had a different vision for his little girl. After matric, he sent her to the University of Cape Town to study engineering.
I didn't even perform well in electrical engineering. I was just not interested in it.
A year into her studies, and she dropped out. Asnath convinced her father to allow her to go to aviation school.
I think it was one of the most difficult things for me to do. I didn't have anyone giving me advice, anyone giving me exposure to any of these things.
In the late 90s, her desire to fly took her to an aviation academy in Polokwane and then to another one in Port Elizabeth.
It starts off by doing 45, 50 hours towards a private pilot's license. Then you do another 160 hours, which will then qualify you once you've also done the theoretical exams for your commercial license.
Asnath went through the entire process, finally qualifying as a commercial pilot. Astonishingly, the very first black woman in South Africa to do so. But her struggles were far from over. Up to 15 companies rejected Asnath telling her they did not recognize her qualifications. Others complained she was too short to be a pilot.
They were not exposed to black people wanting to do certain things. And it must have come as a surprise to some of them, maybe, I don't know.
More than a decade later, Asnath Mahapa is enjoying the life she's always imagined. Having gained experience in the South African Air Force, she is now a pilot for SAA, flying across Africa.
We have put together a program to provide opportunities for people who fall under the category of what is regarded as previously disadvantaged individuals.
But the African College of Aviation, an academy she started in 2012, is Asnath's biggest pride.
I just find that, my instructor pays more attention to me, both on the ground and in the air.
She knows the struggles that she had in our flight schools coming up, so she gives us a very free environment to do what we want.
Aiming for excellence. Well done, Asnath Mahapa. Should you wish to be in touch with us regarding this story or any of the ones you've seen on the show, our social media details are on your screen. Remember, you can also drop us an email, againstallodds@enca.com. After the break, a township boy with a vision from out of this world.